are back. Fuel Up Podcast, guys. We have our first guest back today. It's our first guest. We've been talking to him for a while about this, right?
Months.
Yeah, it's been a few months, actually. Yeah,
even more than a month?
few months,
In
definitely.
the making.
And we finally got it. So, guys, we want to welcome. Actually, we have back our camera number 2. So, if you want to look at camera, it's the one on the left. That's Nick Messina, guys. If you
What's
guys
up, everyone?
introduce yourself, give your tags,
What's
all
up,
that
guys?
stuff.
Nick Messina. You guys probably already know me from Instagram, so there we go.
There you go.
Sicilianudimontreal.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Siciliane.
Giovanni's been dying to say that, I think, since.
Thanks for having me on, Massimo Giovanni. Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it.
No
man.
problem,
Thank
man.
Thanks
Like
for
I
coming
said,
on.
we've been trying to make this happen, but because of COVID and all the laws and stuff, we weren't able to get it all done. It's been driving us all a bit crazy, but we are back on track.
Yes, and that's what counts.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You're right. 100%. So we wanted to start this off. We basically wanted to go in,
Guns
talk
blazing.
talk about Nick's how he started off. Because obviously, if you guys don't know, he is a car guy. It's not like another one of our guests to say that we've had that we had a lot of chefs and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Some guys that weren't car guys, but he's really a car guy and he's worked in the business. So we
Yes,
just wanted to
definitely.
go- Yeah, we just wanted to go like his background and stuff like that. So I've been watching your videos. It's been a while. And I know you said that you started off working at Bombardier.
Yes, correct.
So what did you do there? Like just to get, to start
Yeah,
into
well,
mechanical,
definitely. When I finished high school, I realized that obviously going to college and I tried. I did like maybe one semester of social studies.
Okay.
Realized that wasn't for me, so I took a trade course
Okay.
in aircraft electrical assembly.
Okay, I know that course.
Which led me to a career at Bombardier Aerospace, and I was working on actually building the cockpit for
cool.
the regional jet 200 series back in the day, which was the 50-passenger aircraft for commercial flight. But it was like
Smaller ones.
exactly the
Like
smaller
Toronto and stuff like that.
planes like Montreal, Toronto, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I did a 15-year career there. I did
15 years?
Yes, 15 years.
Okay, I thought it was short.
No.
Okay, wow. 15 years.
So basically, my career was always revolving around the transportation, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So 10 years as an assembler, and then I did 5 years internally in the engineering department. I was a methods agent. So basically, writing up. So basically, whenever you build something, you have a book, you have a worksheet that tells you what to do. So I was installing, and then I became the guy that writes the instructions.
Okay,
That's what we call a methods agent. So I did it. I did that. I was there for about 15 years. Then I got laid off. Right? We all know the aerospace industry here in Montreal, what it became. Got laid off. And right after that, I had a friend of mine, Nick Guerriero, that I met through Fiat Club. I was a member of the Fiat Club back in the day. I had a few Fiats as well. And he goes, you got what it takes? He goes, why don't you, do what you got to do and come and sell cars? And believe it or not, I actually took a course in automotive sales.
Really? There's a course?
Yeah.
Here in Montreal?
In Montreal,
Yeah.
which was in Blainville, I believe. It's called the CFAQ,
Okay.
Centre de Formation Automobile du Québec.
Okay.
And I said to myself, you know what? If you're a salesman in life, you either have it or you don't have it.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm the
We're
kind
all
of guy that whatever I do as a career, I like to have some kind of a certification behind it.
Yeah.
Well, it's always better.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is why I
I didn't know that they had that.
yeah, they do.
I knew there was one in Toronto, like the Automotive School of Business.
Yes,
in
correct.
Barrie.
Yeah,
Correct,
that I know.
correct.
But I didn't know there was one here.
It's a similar school here as well.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Let me just go for it. And I actually went for it. And there was a few things. There was a few aspects of that school, the kind of knowledge I took from that school that I brought forward into my career as a car salesman.
Was it in French, the course, or was it in
The course was in French.
Okay.
The course was in French.
So that's also better for you.
But at the end of the day, like I'm bilingual, right?
Yeah, no,
So-
that's it. Yeah, for sure.
So for me, it was great. I mean, the
That's it,
knowledge
yeah.
I took there, I brought forward to the automotive industry, and for me, it was more than just selling a car. It was more than just selling a product. It was about building relationships.
Okay, with your clients, yeah.
Building a friendship with a customer. Because nowadays, let's face it, there's like this black cloud or an air of like negativity that surrounds car salesmen. And no offense to any car salesman, but
None taken.
yeah, there you go. You know how it is, right? People, they go into a dealer and they're like, this guy's going
They
to
think
try.
they're gonna
and
get
yeah,
screw
they're
me,
ready
and-
to. Yeah.
You know,
it's
but at
true.
the end of the day, I mean, everything has a price,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we always have to come down to that fine line, right? The fine print and sign the car. And for me, it was all just a matter of getting a customer into a car that he was going to like,
Enjoy.
appreciate, and enjoy for himself, or if he had a family, keep himself and his family safe, you know.
Yeah, and then after, especially if you build a good customer relationship, that's how
they're
they
gonna come back
right?
for sure.
For me, it was all about the relationship. Definitely, it's important because at the end of the day, you know, you have to make the customer leave there with a sense of satisfaction.
100%.
The car is going to give you an emotion. The car drives your emotions. When you get into your car every time, there's an emotion that comes with it, right? And I wanted the customer to leave with that emotion the same way he came in, with the emotion of saying, that's the car I want, you know? And at the end of the day, if the price was right as well, then they made it all that much more better.
Yeah.
Because like I said, and I've told the customers many times, it takes that one time to kind of, for lack of better terms, screw someone over.
Mm-hmm.
That one time they find out that you actually
It's
did
over.
that,
You're
you
cruci-
lost them for life.
You're crucified.
Over.
Exactly.
I won't lie. Me with my family, and I'm sure even you, we've bought in cars just off company, whatever, off a dealer just because of that salesperson.
No,
I can guarantee that many
definitely.
times.
So,
many
like
times.
I said, it was all about building the relationships.
The service goes a
building-
long way.
Service, exactly.
We said it with
Yeah.
Jordan, remember Diaco, he was here?
Yeah, Andy. Yeah.
I told him the same thing. I said Jordan, his brother, that's why. Andy, you do you know Andy Diaco? Him too,
It
he's in
tells
he's
me
been
something.
a while
It
in the
tells me
car, but
something.
anyway, so even him, the same thing. My dad bought his car off him because of the way he presented himself, the way he acted, the way he, you know. My dad, if he would have been with the first salesperson that he was with at that dealer, he wouldn't have bought the car. He told me he wasn't buying the car.
Yeah,
and he
it's-
went back because he told me to come back. He goes, come, when I come see you, I'll take care of your dad, this and that. And I goes, okay, let's just go see. And because of that, he bought the car off him.
It's incredible. Like even now that I'm not in the car industry anymore, how people still reach out to me, you know,
Because they trust you.
saying, "Hey Nick, I'm looking for this. What should I look out for? What should I do? What should
for
I
sure.
do?"
They trust you.
And I still give that advice. And some people actually, you know, the advice I give, people turn around and say, "Man, I wish you were my salesman." You
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
No, for
So
sure.
you said you started with Fiat. Was it really Fiat or was it Chrysler?
So,
back in
so
the day?
basically, there was, like I said, a gentleman, Nick Guerriero, who worked at Desource Dodge
Okay,
Chrysler,
yeah, I know exactly.
right,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
West Island.
Okay.
And the Pichuzello family and the Buganim family, which is the two co-owners of that dealership, were the first people that kind of really gave me my chance, gave me my first break in the
That's all you
automotive
need,
industry.
honestly, in the
Yeah.
automotive industry.
So I kind of owe a lot to them. You know, they kind of, it helped me build my strengths as well and improve my weaknesses, which was amazing. You know, as a salesman, as an advisor. And let me tell you, I started there. I did about 4 years selling, you know, Dodge Caravans and, you know, Chrysler 200s, Chrysler 300s.
Okay, so that era. Okay.
Jeeps.
Okay. That's what I like
you
to
know,
know.
when
That's
the, when the
pickups
Jeep
or-
Cherokee came out, the new Jeep Cherokee with those
okay,
lights
the first,
there.
not the Grand, the Cherokee.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
You know how many people had, you want to laugh, I used to sell mags and tires a lot. And you know how many people made mistakes that they would come in and they'd be like, oh, I have a Cherokee.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for specs of a Cherokee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the same bolt pattern
No,
as the, or
at
not,
all.
not the same offset, not
No.
the same bolt pattern.
As a
no.
Grand Cherokee or
Yeah,
just in
so
general?
I'd be getting them stuff for a Cherokee. Then they come in and I'm like, what is a Grand Cherokee? And
Exactly.
they're like, oh, mais c'est la même chose. No,
No,
c'est
c'est pas
pas
la
la
même
même chose. It's not the
Exactly.
same thing.
It's not the same thing at
Not
all.
at all in price and in specs and everything.
Yeah,
It's not the
definitely.
same thing.
Definitely.
But yeah, okay, so you're on that era. Okay,
Yeah, so it was that era there. You know, when the Fiat 500
I
was
was
still
about to say
popular.
Fiat was there.
So the Fiat
Okay.
Cinquecento was popular. Then they came out with the 124 Spider.
Yeah, I like that car.
The 124 Spider Abarth came out.
That's nice.
And the 500 Abarth as well. Is you know, it was that era there.
Yeah.
It was that era there that I did about 4 years of career there. And they saw that I was like, you know, I had a bit of a following on Instagram. I was like, you know, my Instagram
You had
account
started
was,
already?
I had started already. I was
Okay,
already in
okay.
Instagram. It was kind of like young, if you want
Yeah.
to call it that. And we started doing advertising, Facebook ads.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
like videos.
Yeah.
Come and check us out. You know, this
Yeah,
first Chrysler.
I've seen those videos.
So
yeah.
they kind of got me involved in that as well, which was amazing. But then I got another opportunity closer to home. Obviously, I live in the East End, RDP,
Yeah.
and the traveling from RDP to DDO every day.
It's like an hour and a half, no?
It took its toll.
Man.
It took its
Yeah,
toll.
I believe you, man.
I agree. I remember when I first started working as a mechanic, I was a mechanic. I got a job offer at Audi DDO because you just said DDO. I couldn't take it just because it was too far.
Yeah.
Laval too. Like
The travel.
it was an hour and like 25 minutes, and that's like with no crazy traffic or anything like that.
Exactly.
I was like, ooh. So I
Gets long.
understand.
Yeah, you got to take that into consideration
sure,
too. Like when you're working and stuff, like you're gonna have a crazy job. I mean, look, it all depends if the salary was there. If the salary is different, it's all relevant, right? So, but yeah, the traveling was a bit too much for me.
Okay. 2 hours a day, just traveling back and forth.
I was never late for work. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
People that actually lived in DDO
worked
at the DDO were late, right? But I was never late for work. I was actually late once, and I never heard the end of it.
No way.
Yeah, but that was because they had to kind of reprimand another employee, so it was kind of like they just reprimanded him, and then I show up.
So they had to flex their muscles a little bit.
Exactly. But that was a whole other story altogether. And then after that, like I got an opportunity to work at an Audi dealer in the East End, and I did another 2 years there.
Okay.
And then boom, the pandemic happened.
Yeah. So, how did you feel going from like an American company, right, an American-owned company, to like a German? I know they're very, because I worked for them, and I know they're very like, you have to get like good, like what's it called, the comeback, the CSI?
CSIs.
Yes,
right?
the CSI, customer satisfaction index.
That's it, 9 on
has
10
to be
max,
high.
like
Yeah.
minimum,
No,
right?
10 on 10. 9 on 10 is a fail.
There you go. Like they call you if it's a 9 on 10, right?
For us,
Exactly.
for me, 9 on 10 is a fail.
Yeah. There you
I get 9 on 10, I'm fail. It's
No,
failed.
you're definitely
I have to get 100.
There's a certain atmosphere when you're selling an American car, very laid back, very chill.
That's what I feel.
Very relaxed.
That was my question.
Because at the end of the day, I'll give you an example. I mean, you're selling a Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
A Jeep is a fun car.
Right? You're right. The people that come
You're selling a Caravan. A Caravan is a family car.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. People that have a family, kids and stuff, they want to like be relaxed. They want to be comfortable. Right? And at the end of the day, people, they say, I'm never going to buy a Caravan in my life. Guess what? It was the best-selling vehicle that Chrysler ever produced.
It's the best van, I think. Okay. I would say.
They actually invented the minivan, right? Chrysler invented
the
minivan.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
What was the original one called? The Fire?
It was the Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager.
That's one like with the wood paneling on the side?
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So basically, like I said, and it's a very laid-back atmosphere in terms of sales.
Yeah.
But it's also a very good school, okay? Because the amount of options that were available
on a Caravan
in American cars, the options makes no sense. Okay. You can have 4 Caravans that look exactly the same from the outside, but they're all different on the inside, right?
Okay.
And that's something. Let me tell you, when you got to order a car for a customer, if you don't get your coding right and the AAJ and the AVP and the this, that,
cooked,
you're screwed, right? Right? So there you go. But it's a very good school. If anyone starts in the automotive industry as a salesperson, the best school is American cars. And I would say Chrysler is probably the best school for that.
Okay.
Obviously, a lot has changed since. You know, they barely have any cars. A lot of automotive, auto manufacturers don't sell cars. Like the lineup of cars went down.
It's all trucks now.
SUVs and trucks and vans, right? Yeah, for sure. But let me tell you, the switch from American over to German made no sense.
I knew it. That's what I'm asking.
The amount of training that I did
as
a salesman for Audi
was
incredible.
Oh yeah, just as a mechanic.
But it was fun. Yeah. It was something I liked.
Was it
enjoyed.
Was it at the school here?
I went to Estoril.
Okay, yeah.
So they had on-site trainings at hotels.
Very well done.
Yeah,
honestly.
very well done. The organization, the Audi organization is incredible in terms of how they're organized, how they present the product, how they make the salesman kind of be part of the car. Like the experience you get, the feeling you get, like driving the car, test driving the car, is phenomenal, and that's something that I will personally never forget, and I think that's what makes us a better driver. That's what makes us, I think, appreciate the car more.
100%.
I'm speaking for myself because I actually did these trainings.
Yeah.
But it's really like you said, the customer satisfaction index has to be perfect.
Yeah,
that's it.
Or else they crucify you, man.
Exactly, it needs to be a 10 on 10. Sometimes, you go above and beyond. It all depends on the establishment you're in. If you're working in a dealership that's been running for 5 to 10 years, it's one thing. If you're working in a dealership that just started up,
it's another thing.
And you want it to be at a certain level, but the dealership just isn't there yet, then that's another thing, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors in it, but let me tell you, it's a lot more serious.
Oh yeah,
The customers, you mean, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that too. It's true. The customers that come in, they're not looking for a minivan or looking for a Jeep to go off road.
And
or
I'll give you a
anything.
very good example of how, as much as it's serious, I was still a laid back kind of guy, and people still see that and they notice that, to the point where there was one time a customer came in, nobody wanted to serve him. It wasn't even my up yet.
For what's the reason why nobody wanted to serve him?
It's perception, right?
So he came in like dressed with joggers.
Like people were judging a book by the cover.
I have stories about that.
Okay, perception.
It's bad.
People, they say, "Who's this guy? Doesn't look." Hey, by the way, it's your up. No, I don't want to take it. Hey, it's your up. No, okay, then go to the next.
What does that mean? You're up. That means like the next.
So
you're up.
Okay, so everyone has like
everybody has
a turn basically.
So whoever gets there first, like whoever signs in first at the beginning of the day,
he's the first one.
on top of the list.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone
you're
gets
the
a client.
first person to take a
So
client.
let's say
So
you're
everyone
first,
could get a
I'm
client.
Second, he's third. You
Okay,
grab
so
one, someone else
to
walks
be
in.
fair,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
To be fair. Okay,
Exactly.
okay, okay.
Well, believe it or not, this customer here was Mr. Schiller.
I love this shit.
And if you guys don't know who Mr. Schiller is,
I know who he is.
I don't know who he is.
he is the guy that, remember Au Bon Marché, Oui Papa?
Yeah, okay,
Remember
yeah.
These guys own, I think, 90% of real estate in Montreal.
Really?
It makes no sense.
Okay, wow.
And when they came in, I greeted them just like any other customer, offered them
So
a
you have to do
coffee,
it.
sat them down at my desk. How can I help you? What are you here for? So on and so forth. And we had in the showroom an Audi A8L.
Oof.
Nice.
In the showroom.
I love it.
I believe it was the second most expensive A8L in North America, and we had it in the showroom. It was, I think it was Mythos Black, if I'm not mistaken.
Black interior too.
Black interior.
That Mythos black
Queen's
is
black.
nice.
The
black.
options on this car was phenomenal. It made absolutely no sense, the options on this car. And one thing led to another. I basically dealt with them, the family, for about a good 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Wow.
To sell them the car. They finally sealed the deal.
Is that what they wanted? Like it was an A8
Yeah.
that he wanted? Okay.
And the
That's
car was
crazy.
actually for their driver. They have a driver
But yeah.
that drives them around
Yeah.
town and whatever,
Oh, wow.
which is great. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, he told me, Nick, I want you to deliver me the car at my house. And I was like, what? Yeah. So I went, I drove this car, brand new car. I drove it out of the dealer. Normally it's the experience when the customer drives his own car out of the
It's
dealer.
true, I didn't
and
think
here
of that.
I am. Okay, guys, today's delivery day. We have the paperwork. Everything was ready. The plate, I installed the plate. And I'm literally driving this brand new car.
$200,000.
I'm driving this car to his house. And I parked the car in the driveway. I backed it up.
Right,
With
nice.
the front of the car facing the
Facing-
street.
Yeah, the right way, yeah.
Parked the car, rang the doorbell.
I'm here.
Good morning, we're here, your car. I even put a bow, a red
Yeah,
bow on
nice.
the car. That's something that I did.
Yeah.
I started doing the whole red bow thing. It kind of took off. I think they still use the same bow today, or maybe not. I don't even know. But yeah, and it was all about the customer experience, the customer satisfaction.
I'm sure he didn't forget it.
And let me tell you, till this day, they still talk about
There you
it.
go.
Guaranteed, because people were just floored. They were floored.
That's crazy. Honestly, I've had so many experiences like that you go, like even just going to dealerships. Like I'm going to see me and with my father. I'm not going to dress up in a suit. Even I'm going and buy an Audi, a BMW, or
And
whatever.
you shouldn't. You're
shouldn't
shopping.
have to.
Just
Yeah.
like you go shop for a pair of pants.
Exactly.
You shop for a car, which
Exactly.
is normal.
And it's also happened to me that I'll never forget this man. When I was working, again, when I was selling my mags and tires, this man came in, old man. Old man. No joke, he smelled of manure, okay? But me in my head, okay, he works on a farm, whatever, it is what it is. He smelled that, oh, you go help him. This guy is a waste of time. Okay, I go help him. See, he's looking at the Porsche wheels. I go see him, I go, hey, monsieur, bonjour, whatever. He has a bit of a lisp. He's really old, you know? He's like, yeah, I'm just looking for wheels for my Macan. No problem. Macan already. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you know, the guy,
Yeah.
you know, talking to him, he knows that he realizes
Definitely.
that I'm a Porsche fan
Definitely.
and that I'm passionate about this. This guy bought, I think, 10 sets of wheels off me, and he has so many Porsches.
Yeah.
He has a Porsche that
Yo, sometimes, man,
Lozon
yeah,
wants to
yeah.
buy off him. He has a Porsche. It's a 911 SC 1978.
Oh, like a one of a
Yeah,
rare.
yeah.
There's
It's
like
three.
maybe-
They offer him 350,000. He said no.
There you go.
This guy, and you know what he does? Why he smelled? He raises horses.
You see?
You know how much each horse is?
And he has a horse farm.
sure.
You know, yeah, go buy a horse.
Yeah.
Tell me how much
I
a horse
already
costs.
know.
It's expensive.
More than an
He
AA.
told-
Yeah, no kidding.
He told me one of his cheaper ones are like 200,
Yeah.
250.
I'm sure some of them reach $1 million.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure.
no, that's his cheaper ones. That's like is the ones that are like a bit might get
Yeah,
me
horses,
undersized.
Those that walk a little quicker.
yeah, the ones that have a bit of
a hump on the back.
Tsupiki, you know, like they say in Sicilian, Tsupiki, you know.
So
But,
that's it,
And like I said, it's all perception. We have to stop, you know,
But you
always
see-
judging a book by its cover.
Yeah,
You can't
for
do
sure.
that.
you wouldn't have
100%.
seen that if you were working at Chrysler, I feel, or not as much.
You know what? It's a different ballgame.
That's
You
it,
know,
right?
It's a different type of clientele.
So-
It doesn't mean that the clientele of Chrysler can go buy a Mercedes
Yeah,
or an
no,
Audi
no,
or
no,
whatnot.
Not that at all. No.
Because there is customers that have
Yeah, or they're buying
Mercedes,
work
But they
stuff.
also have a Grand Caravan as a work
and they
car.
also
Yeah,
have
for sure.
a caravan for their job or for
Yeah.
their work and whatnot.
Or
But
just vacation.
Exactly.
That's what they choose to drive.
it is the level of service that you have to
Yeah, it
give
goes
to
a
the
long way.
customer has to always be on the same wavelength. I'm not going to serve one guy one way because he has a suit and serve another guy another way because he's wearing jeans.
That's like that in life, right?
Or if one buys an A3, the other one buys R8. It doesn't change anything.
Exactly. And that is one thing, like I said, I sold almost one of each and every single Audi in the lineup,
Yeah.
except for maybe I never sold an R8, close to selling an R8, but never happened. But like I said, regardless if a customer came in back in the day for an A3 or if he came in for an A8, the level of service has
Same
to
thing.
still be there.
Yeah.
Because who knows if in a couple years he's coming back for that
Or
E8.
A8, yeah, exactly.
Like I said, it's all about dream building. For a lot of people, it's building the,
100%.
let's face it, there's a lot of material in this world, and the material stuff sometimes is what helps people kind of feel good about
Cope,
themselves
yeah,
and so
yeah.
on
Or
and
to
so
excel
forth.
in their life. Or
A
whatever
sense of
it may be, yeah.
accomplishment
Yeah,
and,
for
and
sure.
whatnot. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's all about the
Crazy.
customer service.
See?
Yeah.
That's it. Well, also once I was listening to one of you have like your little rants, you do your stories and you start ranting.
Yeah, okay.
You were saying there's a lack of appreciation for workers in the car world.
Yeah.
And I quoted that exactly
Yeah.
the way you said it.
Yeah.
I agree with you 1,000%. And people outside the car world don't understand it.
I can
You know what I mean?
I can definitely say, well, I said it, so yeah, definitely.
But I want you to elaborate. Why do you think that?
Well,
Why, with the tech, with the sales and all that stuff? Like,
The lack of appreciation firstly is because it comes from the customer, right? So the customer comes in thinking he's gonna get screwed.
Yeah.
Think
You're
he's
right, like you said at the
finagled or-
beginning,
Yeah,
right?
think he's gonna get shenagled. They think he's gonna get, they come in, I'm gonna get haggled today.
On the
and,
defense right away, right?
Yeah,
On the
always on the
defensive.
defense.
Yeah.
They come in, they kind of like, they're like, this guy, they're gonna keep profit on the car. They're gonna make money off. They
Yeah.
think that car salesmen make crazy amounts
$1
of money.
million a year, yeah.
Yeah, which back in the day was the case. Back in the day, car salesmen were making a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
It was a known fact.
Yeah.
And I believe it's because of the old school days of car sales that kind of like trickled down to where we're at today, where they always have this like air of like negativity around
Yeah,
them and
exactly.
so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, all they're doing is basically trying to make a living and
Yeah.
and support their family. And I get it. Some car salesmen sell more cars than others. Some car salesmen get demos. They get a demo car, so they're always driving in a new
Yeah,
car.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
always driving in a.
It's the
in a-
perception.
exactly.
That
So
too,
a lot
that
of it
too.
is perception as well, where you can
Yeah.
have a salesman who has a demo car, but barely sold 3 cars this month. You get it? You don't know what's behind it.
Yeah.
But the whole reason behind the demo car is obviously to get people talking, right?
Yeah.
Hey Nick, what's this
Advertising.
car?
Yeah, nice
Yeah.
car you're
Hey
driving.
Nick,
yeah.
what's that car?
Hey, and this
come
car
check-
this week, yeah.
And there
yeah.
you go. The other sense of feeling unappreciated is depending on the dealer you work for, right?
Yeah, it's,
At the end of the day, hey, we have 10 cars to sell this month. Why are you only at 7? Hurry up! Like, what are you doing? What happened to this customer? Why did he leave? Why did he go? Why does this customer this? Why does this customer
The
that?
Yeah.
egos, the aggressive.
The egos too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have the ego that plays into the name of the game. You
And
have
I feel
managers.
it's worse for the service people.
Yes.
Anyone in service, 'cause that's where I was in. I'm not just trying to take their side. I'm just saying I find it was like, we're always pushed aside. That's why I stopped working in all
the
that shit.
the service does have its other side of it. As
And they're like, without the mechanic, without the techs, I'm sorry, you
Useless.
guys are you make the sale, but then after what
Yeah.
happens after
The
that?
thing
So
in the-
everyone should be important, not just the
That was my-
managers and the
Yes,
high guys.
definitely.
Not
This was
you know what
my
I mean?
point. Is like a dealership. It does have 2 or 3 departments that have to work together, right? So the sales has to work together with the service. The service has to work together with the mechanics. The mechanics have to work with the sales.
Definitely.
Everybody has to work together.
Definitely.
If one part of that perfect triangle like is not performing like the other one, it's gonna affect
everyone.
right? So like for example, if the service department gives, sorry to say, a shitty service, they're not gonna come back to the sales, and then you as a salesman, you're affected. But if you don't sell cars, then the service department is affected, and then the tech has more
that's
work,
it. That's
and
it.
he gets laid off.
It's a vicious circle.
Yeah,
It
sure.
is.
It's a vicious circle.
And that's why I'm saying that it's the lack of appreciation. Well, that's what I got from that is that, let's say the owners, let's say like you're saying, some dealers, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, okay, take care of this guy, take care of that guy. The guy in the front, let's say like you were saying, who makes the most sales and stuff like that. Okay, this guy, give him a jacket, give him this. Mechanics in the back, the guy's been doing like 50 cars a day. His back is broken. He made you the money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And they're like, no, even if we don't need him, like tomorrow we'll get rid of him.
It's definitely a dog-eat-dog world.
Crazy.
It's 100%. And it was worse back in the day, like you were saying. 100%.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So those people that I work with, they've been there for like 40, 50 years. You know, like they hopped around. And they're telling me stories. And like, we used to wait in the parking lot for people to show up. And even before they got into the building, we would go get them. Hey, what are you doing today? It was like aggressive. There was no computers. There was no follow-ups. It was all like, close him now because this guy might not come back and you might not get his phone number. There's no cell phones. It
makes absolutely no sense. You know, it's all about... Oh, we have to sell. sell. Like, what are you doing? How come you left? How come this? How come that? And then
everyone's gonna buy.
There's times even where the mechanics would tell the salesman, go do your job, go sell your car, get out of my.
They're always head to head after.
Yeah, but all sometimes the salesman wants to do is understand
what's wrong with the car.
What's wrong with the car, so I can better explain it to the customer.
And then you have an easier time doing your job.
Exactly, but then the tech advisor says, hey, that's my job. Do your thing. Stick to your own job. I don't want to. You know what I mean?
That's it. But like I would understand, like if I was a tech and he would come to me and say he's a salesman, yo, what's wrong with the car? Just so I don't come here next time and bust your ass and ask you what it is. I'd be like, no problem. This is what it is. Okay, thank you. And I'd build so many relationships like that.
Because you like cars.
Exactly.
I love cars. We
all
love
passion,
cars.
Right?
But sometimes you're gonna work with somebody
that's just
there
for
the job.
Because the money's really good as a service advisor.
Yeah, because you don't need any type of.
Exactly. If the guy doesn't know anything about cars or he doesn't like cars. He's like, he's just here to answer the phone, do the work order.
I have that, right?
And like, he doesn't really, not that he doesn't give a shit, but like, he won't put the extra effort.
He's there just to work, like he said.
That's just like a tech advisor that doesn't know the basics of mechanics. Like, just a little basic thing. Like, what's that? The catalytic converter? What's that? Is it... You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes they'll call the customer and say, oh, by the way, there was a problem with this, but they don't even know what they're talking about.
And doesn't make sense.
And
they're just
believe it or
not,
the customer can catch on to that. They can feel it.
That you're bullshitting them. 100%.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I couldn't stand in my industry. There's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit, and I just tried to eliminate the bullshit as much as possible.
That's why I got out of that too, out of the dealerships and stuff
and
like
building trust. Building trust, for me, was very important.
You know what's the crazy part? It's so fucking fun to do, man.
I loved it. I loved working in that stuff. Me too.
So
That's
much
the one thing I
bullshit.
miss it.
There's so many moving parts, but when stuff goes right,
you're fine.
And everybody's excited.
Yeah.
The customer leaves
Definitely.
happy. He just picked up his new
it's a good
whatever.
feeling.
Yeah, man.
You're like, holy shit, man. The guy's like ecstatic. Like, you know?
So you get that good. It's a good vibe that you get. That you even made that guy happy. He's gonna go home and talk to his wife.
Customers used to buy Dodge Caravans from me, and they would tell me, Nick, I feel like I bought a Ferrari.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I said. He goes, I have never gotten this level of service
anywhere else.
He goes, and I'm buying a Caravan.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
And some people were even buying the base model, CVP, Canada Value Package, which doesn't without the stow and go, with the bucket, with the big bench in the back.
It's the basic like work one.
Yeah. But you get it? And it was the fact that I was even mentioning this option to the customer, that a guy just needed a car for his business.
That's what it's usually. Yeah,
and I said, guess what? If you take out the bench in the second row, you still have the storage compartments inside because
they're there.
They're still there.
Standard like that.
It's standard over there, right? Oh my God, I didn't know. I go, and you have the storage all the way in the back, so you can still fold them in the back.
You just saved them 4 Gs under the car.
They were buzzing. They were freaking out.
That's it. That's the best.
So what happens is that sometimes, and now we're going to get into the sales things where the profit that you had to eat up on a stow and go model, you kind of could have kept a bit more on a base model because it costs cheaper.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, let's face it, we all need to make money, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But it was still all about giving the service and giving a great price to the customer. That's what I was all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Well, that's
100%.
how it has. Honestly, that's how it has to be.
I'm with you on that one.
Where did I want to go to next? Where did you get this passion of cars? Because you obviously have it. I see it. We're just talking about, just before we're having an espresso, we're talking about cars.
Yeah, my passion for cars started, I think, when I was at the age of 4.
Wow.
I loved the TV shows, Dukes of Hazzards.
Yes.
Then later on, Knight Rider.
Okay.
There was even that show, The Fall Guy, with that big brown GMC pickup truck back in the day. The Fall Guy.
No.
Fall Guy.
Just this, all these shows, like, even Back to the Future with the cars and stuff.
Yeah, with the
I was really a fanatic for cars, toy cars, Hot Wheels, Matchbox.
The little die cast and stuff.
And I would say a lot of
Is that
that.
a Bronco? Was that?
No, it's just a GMC
Sorry.
pickup.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay, so it's like
It's a 1984 GMC K10.
Yo, that thing looks like it
custom.
goes
Exactly.
through walls,
Pretty
man.
sick.
It looks like it goes
Like
through
a
walls.
pickup, like a nice rugged pickup.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Okay.
And a lot of that stemmed from the fact of my uncles. So my mom's brothers. My uncle had a 77 or a 78 Trans Am.
Ooh, nice.
Trans Am back in the day with the big eagle on the
Yeah,
front.
the big one,
Starsky and Hutch.
Hutch.
No, Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit. Sorry,
But
Smokey
Starsky
and the
Hutch
Bandit.
has one too,
No,
I
it's,
think.
Smokey,
It's not?
That was another car.
He has a Chevelle, no?
Torino.
Yeah,
Ford
yeah,
Torino, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
You're right.
Torino?
You're right.
I think it was a
you're right.
Torino.
Okay. So with the bird on the top.
And
okay.
then, my other uncle, too had, after that, he had a BMW 330 or 320i, like the old ones. And we were like freaking out. Oh my God, my uncle bought a BMW. Back in the day. It was like, wow, it was crazy. But yeah, I think my passion for cars started at a young age. I even had a Coleco, one of those pedal cars.
Yeah.
And it was actually a General Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Dukes
sick.
of Hazzard.
Sick.
Yeah. I loved the Charger. Yeah, exactly.
Where I used to work, we still have the replica of the
I
General Lee.
loved cars ever since. I remember I was a kid watching Knight Rider.
Yeah.
And my mom bought me, actually I got it for Christmas, I don't remember. It was this red kind of cockpit, the front of a car that used to pop up. And it was like a light in the back with a thing that would turn to pretend like as if you were driving.
Okay.
And every time I would watch Knight Rider and he would go, like he would start driving, I would pretend and start driving too.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was so weird.
No, but it's a passion that's
It's a
coming out,
passion.
yeah.
It's just, I love cars since
Knight
the
Rider
age of-
2 was a Trans Am, by the way.
Knight Rider was the
82.
Firebird
Yeah.
Pontiac. Yeah,
Pontiac
exactly.
Trans Am 82. I didn't even know that.
It had the
And,
different lights on it, right? I think.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah,
different. That's the
yeah,
flip
the-
lights. And
Yeah.
it has
You know
the,
that thing there.
You're right, yeah,
It
exactly.
was just fascinating. It was always something. I've always loved cars. And I don't think I'm ever gonna.
Stop.
There's days where I drive by John Scotty and sometimes I stop just
Yeah.
to look inside and I'm like, wow, like
it's
See the
crazy.
new one they built in the Metropolitan
Yeah,
there?
that's
with the MC12 inside. and
Oh,
the
there's the
Enzo.
cars
Like,
there,
wow,
man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
it's just something about cars. I don't know what it is. It's a guy thing. I don't know. And some guys aren't into cars, which is fine too. But it's just a passion. I love
me too,
cars.
man.
Yeah.
So it was just basically from your family and growing up around your uncles and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it was
Okay.
basically my
That's
family,
like us, I
myself
guess.
too. As a little boy, I used to see cars, and I used to say, "Oh my God, that's a Pontiac Tempest." Or that's a Chevrolet Corsica, and I knew the difference between a Pontiac Tempest and a Chevrolet Corsica, but they were the exact same car, right?
Yeah.
And I knew the difference between a Sunbird, a Cavalier, a Skyhawk, a Cimarron.
They're all the
and,
same.
I don't know.
All the same. Yeah.
and they were all the same car.
I
It
don't
was-
know what the other ones are.
Yeah,
The
it was
early
all the
90s,
J-body
man.
cars,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I even knew the difference between the Oldsmobile Firenze, because an Oldsmobile Firenze
Yeah.
was like a Sunbird, but it was an Oldsmobile, right? And I knew the difference, and it was so weird. Like I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and I'd be looking at cars, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a Nissan, oh, that's a Toyota, and like I used to freak. Like I used to know the car even by looking at the light pattern. But just the lights from far. I knew the car.
Yeah.
It was crazy,
Yeah,
crazy.
I have that
crazy.
now, like, obviously with newer cars, not 1990s, because I was born in 95 there, so I wasn't.
I was born in 81. Yeah,
There you go,
81.
you
I was
see?
born in 81.
But if I'm driving or I see, like, I don't know, a BMW
Giovanni
lights
missed
or
the
whatever.
era of the Sunfires and all those cars
My
being
grandpa had a
modified.
Cavalier.
You know, all the-
Yeah,
My grandpa had a
Cavalier,
yeah,
there
gold
you go.
Cavalier.
Yeah,
too.
Yo,
yeah.
shoot, your grandfather had the old
gold
Cavalier.
one.
Yeah, it was
Gold.
like golden.
So comprado un Cavalier.
Almost like this, the
Yeah.
color, huh? Yeah,
Because don't forget the name. A lot of Italian men. They oggi ho comprato la Corsica. Chevrolet Corsica. Because it was
Yeah,
Corsica,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or I bought, like when you would say un Cavalier, I bought un Cavalier.
The horse, yeah, you bought that.
And believe it or not, the Chevrolet Nova back in the day
Yeah, Chevy Nova,
didn't
yeah.
do good
No.
because of the word Nova. Because the Italians would say non va.
Oh, like it's no
So
good.
they would think that the car didn't move. Or
Doesn't
was
go.
you get it?
Doesn't
It's
go.
really weird, but
It's true,
it
it's
actually
true.
the Nova did have a downfall because of its name. Believe it or
True.
not. So,
Holy shit. Okay, I never thought of it like that.
yeah, yeah.
See, him, it was that. Then after me came the Civics and the Golfs.
Yeah, the
versus-
Civic, forget it. Back
the
in-
Civic and the
my-
Golf.
my first car
You
that
with
I actually
CRXs,
bought
no?
was a 2001 Honda Civic SI.
That's sick.
It was Inca Gold.
Oh,
Was
man.
it the gold? Yeah. It was the car that
Yo, 2001
Villeneuve
SI,
Yeah.
man.
used in the commercials for Honda
Yes,
back in the
yes,
day.
yes,
Jacques
yes,
Villeneuve.
yes, yes.
Holy
Jacques
shit, okay.
Villeneuve
I remember
Honda
that.
Civic with the gold one there.
Yeah.
That car there. And I remember when I bought that car, I was at the Honda dealer in Montreal North. And he goes, hey, I went in, my salesman goes, Nick, he goes, your car is right there. And he pointed at the car outside and it was just parked. I don't know what it is. And it was at that
Sometimes it's
moment
like
there,
that, eh? Yeah,
the
yeah.
experience
Yeah,
I got
the
from
feeling
my
you got
first
inside, yeah.
car. And I was like, wow, what's this? Man,
And you said it was an SI, right?
it was an SI, yeah.
Yo, that's a sick 2001 SI. First car, man.
2001
What?
SI. That
That's
it was
sick.
the first generation where they introduced the McPherson suspension,
McPherson,
which, in
yeah.
my opinion, they screwed up
Yeah,
royally.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
Royally.
didn't like it?
I had so many suspension problems in the
Oh,
front,
yeah, the
leaky
first
shocks.
the first ones were bad.
The
Yeah.
shocks were always
iteration.
leaking. A very
Yeah, yeah.
wobbly drive at a certain point.
In the
and
back, too. Oof.
I ended up losing control with that car
For real?
on the way home from work one day.
No way.
And I literally flipped the car over on the Metropolitan, right at the Saint Laurent exit.
yeah.
I flipped the car upside down, and luckily I came out with just an entorse lombaire, like they say, like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and that's it. Yeah,
You were, was it that you were going fast or no?
I remember coming home from work. I was doing about 100, 110, and there was a guy in back of me, like
Right in your ass.
right up my
Saw that
ass,
gold
you know?
SI, you wanted
And I'm
to
like,
go.
what is this guy? Like whatever. So I got out of the way.
Yeah.
And then he still came behind me. I got out of the way, and then he was still behind me. Back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, I got mad, so I veered out. But as I veered out,
It went-
the car fishtailed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the car fishtailed. The guy obviously freaked out. He took
He
off.
pinned it and you went.
And I ended up smashing into the median of the Metropolitan. As
And
I
then you
smashed, the
flipped.
car flipped over, smashed onto the highway and slid from one diagonally on the Metropolitan into the other median. So
Thank God no one
Yeah,
else
this
hit
is
you.
the middle
Thank God
player.
no one else hit you.
and nobody else hit me. And it's funny because there was co-workers of mine that were driving home,
And they saw this.
and they all saw it. And they're like, hey, we saw him. We saw the guy. Yeah, he was speeding. He was up your butt. We saw everything. But unfortunately,
crazy, though.
we never ended up finding out who that guy was. And believe it or not, after the accident, obviously it was caused
Yeah,
traffic
for sure.
buildup.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman in a car driving to work that night. Okay?
Driving to work.
Yeah, he was driving to work. And he got to work, and the first patient he took when he got to work was me. So a doctor was driving to work. He was stuck in traffic.
Because of
He saw the car, and when he got to work, he took a patient, accident de la route, He goes, wait a minute. He goes, are you the guy that
He
was
saw
in
you
the
too.
accident? Because I
Everyone
saw
saw
the
you.
car, and he's looking at me, and he goes, wow. He goes, you're alive, because he freaked.
Oh, shit.
No
The
way.
doctor freaked.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy, he literally, I was at Jean Talon Hospital, I'll never forget, okay? And he goes, obviously, like, as a doctor has to stop whenever there's an accident that happens, right?
okay.
Yeah.
But he couldn't stop because obviously the patient was gone. Like I was gone, I was in the ambulance, and I was on my way to the hospital, right?
Yeah.
And so he was there, and basically, yeah, he took care of me, told me, okay, this, I had some time off work and whatnot. The day that everything was finalized, the insurance claim and everything, I got another car, Valera Neuf, the whole 9 yards. I went back to the Honda dealer to go get my second car, which was a 2004 or 5 Honda Accord.
Okay.
Remember the
Nice.
car that
Yeah,
looked like
yeah.
a bit of a Mercedes?
The bubble in the back, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, I know exactly what year.
Exactly.
That's a good
They came with the
Accord, man.
V6s.
So
those
I
years.
bought a 2-door coupe.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Okay, I know someone who has that car.
4-cylinder.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So the day that I went back to the dealer to go pick up my car,
Yeah.
after everything was finalized, in the actual dealership was the doctor.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
Waiting for you, or just happened to be?
The
No, wait.
doctor was at the same dealership on the same day that I went and get my second new car. He went and picked up a Honda Odyssey for
was
his
gonna say-
family. He bought a van.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like a what the fuck moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And guess what? That day, I went and see him. I go, oh my God. It was Dr. Amar.
Okay.
Super nice guy, super chill guy. He's actually my family doctor today.
Wow.
Believe it
Look
or
at
not.
that.
How weird is that? It
Yeah.
makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
He didn't go in the dealer and say, "Can I get a gold Civic?"
No.
Put it in his house.
But yeah, just like a little anecdote, you know, it's really cool. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That
Holy
is crazy.
man.
You see, that's why I asked these questions.
Holy
So that was
shit.
my first car was my Honda Civic. I saw.
Shit. There you go.
And
You
I
see,
bought
you started with
myself
Honda.
working at Bombardier. It was
That's sick.
Wow.
That's a good card. I like those cars, man. Try to find them today clean, not touched.
Hondas are very reliable cars.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like
Yeah, they don't break. They don't
No,
break.
they don't
Especially
break.
those years.
Toyotas as well,
Wow,
but they're
yeah,
very
Toyota
very
too.
boring cars in my
That's the
opinion.
thing,
It's more
yeah.
of a boring, bland car.
I drove a Honda Civic for like a month and a half. I couldn't do it anymore.
No,
I
eh?
had a like in.
Yeah, but a newer one,
Civic,
it's like a
yeah.
newer LX. It's not the same thing.
Well, I was driving a 2010, so whatever. But like, I don't know. For me, I love cars, right? So like,
It's
I
because
love
you
that.
also drive these cars all day long at where you work. Right?
Yeah,
you
I
drive
know,
cars with like
but-
500 horsepower and stuff. Now you're driving a car with like 100.
if it was just to get to point A to point B,
Perfect.
whatever, I wouldn't
Yeah,
care, you know.
definitely,
But like for
definitely.
me, getting to A to point B is like my time alone.
Yeah.
It's like my
Yeah.
my little hut.
Yeah,
like,
it's your little escape.
I want to
Your
drive
little
something
haven.
that's
Yeah,
like.
for sure. Definitely.
I love cars that have no sound installation. I love when you're driving them, you hear the rocks hit the floor, and it's like it's manual. Like I
Yeah.
love that stuff.
Yeah,
You know.
you want to be in control of the car,
Yeah.
not the car controlling you with 101,
Ugh.
driver
Yeah.
driver
Assist.
efficiency
Assistance
systems.
and stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
Driver
Which don't get me wrong, they're
assistance,
still sick to drive. Like you drive an S
Definitely.
class or an 8, it's
Different.
And
It's
I
a
believe a
different
lot of
feeling to drive
accidents
is-
are reduced and avoided because of these
Yeah.
systems,
Yeah,
right?
for
Because
sure.
it happens, but
For sure.
But there's something about like,
being connected to the car.
It's
that's what
different.
it is.
and I
Shifting
feel like
the
it's
gear.
losing that.
We're losing that.
Yeah.
We're definitely losing. There's already no more
That's
manual
actually-
transmissions.
Well,
It's
manual
very rare.
transmissions hard to find nowadays. The electrification of vehicles nowadays too. No more sound. Like you start your car and it's like your car's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even know, like the e-tron. Have you
Yeah,
driven
ding.
one?
Yeah,
It
It's
just
like a
tells you.
microwave makes more
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah, it just tells you
The
that
car,
it tells
like
you.
just the car is
All
ready.
you hear is the
Yeah.
tires.
Like you just see
spinning.
ready. And then
That's
you just
it. Me too. I'm always
like,
like,
I have
what?
a neighbor that has a Model 3 and it's like he just left. Like what?
Yeah,
I have
you
a
don't
couple
hear,
of them here. Actually,
It's so weird, man.
You just hear the tires after. If you don't hear those
Yeah.
tires, forget it. You hear nothing.
It's so weird.
Crazy.
It's really sad. Like it's all about the startup, the rattle, the
Yeah.
pop,
Yeah.
even the
Yeah.
takeoff, the exhaust.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I really don't
It's
get
true,
it.
Look,
man.
I like Teslas. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they're
cool
awesome.
car, but it's not. It's a different
They
world, different
actually-
reality.
They actually have a system in the car that makes you think that you're driving like it's fake.
What an
Yeah.
engine?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Well, even Audi has that.
Yes, I know.
The
I
sound
know.
Well, all
indicator,
electric
whatever
cars
they
are
call
gonna
it.
have it also. Though,
I don't
you know?
like that.
I hate that they do that with
Find
Volks
it
and Audi.
so
That
weird.
they take the sound and put it into the speakers.
Yeah.
Remember when I got my car unplugged right away?
sound-
I
The
can't
sound,
stand that.
sound actor, something.
Yeah, sound
Something like that,
indicator,
yeah.
sound indicator.
When
Something.
you put it in sport mode,
Yes.
it becomes more.
Well, sport mode for some cars is actually real because there's
Yeah, it actually
baffles
moves.
inside the muffler
not
that open up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So you do
exactly.
get more of that free flow, right?
Also,
But
TTSs, RSs,
Correct,
the valves
correct,
change,
correct,
Yeah,
the
correct.
valve timing changes,
Yeah,
a lot of stuff changes.
correct.
Yeah.
Just getting an SQ5 or an S series car like for
Yeah,
Audi,
Yeah.
and you put it in dynamic mode. Yeah, obviously
It's
the
gonna
muffler
change, yeah.
opens up a bit.
Everything changes.
sure.
Yeah, for sure. But I know what you mean. That you don't hear it. You
I hate
start-
electric cars.
I
I'm putting
like
it out
my
there.
favorite thing in the morning when I used to go to work was pushing before you used to turn the key, but whatever.
Yeah, it's
Let's say
turning the
push
key.
to start
Yes.
and the little whoa,
Yeah,
and
it
the cold
Yeah.
start.
Yeah.
you get
Cold
that
start
nice-
for me is top.
Now it's like what I'm gonna get a
Yeah, yeah,
Tesla and I'm gonna be like
Yeah, and you just hear like ding,
Yeah.
like
ding.
like I said, literally your microwave makes more noise than
It's
an
true.
electric
It's
car.
electric.
So-
It must be a
I hate
boring
this
morning,
car.
no?
You're like, okay,
Yeah,
put
It
it in
must be a
drive.
boring morning.
But some
No,
people
to go to
love
work?
it, man.
Yeah.
Me, it's all about just the sound, the smell of the exhaust.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something
The
about
pollution.
it. Well, yeah, I get it. I know there's a whole environmental side to it as well, but it's like I want to just put that aside for now. Like,
Yeah,
Well, it's not like
It's
we're
just the
driving.
joy.
It's
I
not
know
like-
it's the joy
I
of,
know, I
of
know.
a car, and look, and what exhilarated the passion of people, our parents and grandparents back in the day. Well, we're experiencing
Exactly.
No, yeah.
it
Yeah,
today
same
with
thing.
our era of cars.
Yeah, 100%. And it's
So
sad that
different.
it's going away.
Yeah, it's
Slowly,
very,
anyways.
very sad
Well,
that it's going
we'll
away.
see.
Hopefully,
Hopefully they always keep a couple.
they hold up on that electric.
Yeah,
electric
I think
car.
it might even slow down a bit because of all the
I
shit
think
that
it's
are
gonna
saying.
go up, man.
Tesla doesn't know where to dump shit, and the batteries are being a problem now.
That's
Well,
another thing.
exactly.
Like, electric cars are not technically
much better for the-
than
yeah.
fuel.
No,
Because it's after the problem, not
Exactly.
during.
Yeah,
That's the
Exactly.
And
problem,
batteries
yeah.
would last 8 to 10 years.
batteries last anywhere between 8 to 10. Some cars even 12. And then some people, what happens? Like you have a battery-powered car, what do? You want to buy a new battery? The battery pack probably costs half of the price of the car.
Exactly.
So,
What?
So
Wait
it's
a
more
minute.
waste now.
So there's even more waste, right?
That's it.
So then
That's
what
what
happens
I'm
to this
saying.
whole car after the lifespan of the battery is done?
We were saying, right?
You're gonna get rid of it. Well, you're gonna throw it away.
Exactly.
Like
The
we were-
used market's gonna tank because nobody wants the car. So what are we
But
doing
like,
now?
let's say, right? Like he was saying, the Civics. Let's just go back to a Civic. You bought, let's say, your 2001
Yes.
Civic. It was new, right? But let's
Yes.
say a couple years later, right? 10 years later, a kid buys it, right? 'Cause that's
Yes.
what usually happens.
Yes.
The car is still good to
No
drive.
kidding.
And
The car
you
can
bought
be
it
used 4 or 5
Yeah, but wait,
times
you
before you
bought
get rid
it.
of it.
You bought that Civic because you know a ball joint goes. It's gonna
Yeah,
be $50.
for sure.
You know,
Yeah,
you
for
could
sure.
fix whatever happens.
Yeah.
Now, what are the kids gonna do in the future? They have to buy a brand new car off the bat because there's nothing that lasts.
Yeah, because the manufacturers want you to be stuck
Exactly.
on those lease
It's a
terms.
bit-
They make
yeah,
money off that
exactly,
stuff, right?
exactly.
At the end of the day, it's a business, man.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been saying this from the beginning.
Everything is a
It's-
business nowadays. You know what I mean? Even when you die and you go in,
Yeah.
you're going
They-
shopping for a
they-
Nubuga and a Rumur. It's
Yeah,
a
they
business, right?
crucify you,
So
man,
there you
for
go.
sure.
Everything's a business.
I know. So I look at it. I look at it in a way that do they really care about the environment? Maybe they do.
Maybe not.
But they really care about their pockets,
money.
man, and they think they care about the bottom line.
It's
and
all
that's
about
what
the
it is.
money.
So
Right.
It's sad to say,
It
but they're
is,
using
though.
the environment as an excuse
It's
to make more money.
The
you know?
environment, yeah, they used it as an excuse, but at the end of the day, long term, are you really doing anything? Are you doing that much
exactly.
better?
No, you're
You
not.
may be reducing, emissions and all
for a
that
bit.
stuff
Footprint,
for
yeah.
carbon footprint, right? You're reducing the carbon footprint, but what about all this battery?
Yeah, and then
The
after,
nickel,
what's-
cadmium,
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
the other
Lithium, they're mining it. The people that they enslave to mine this lithium,
Yes,
it's like,
exactly.
yo, it's
True.
crazy,
Exactly.
man.
So it doesn't help. Like for every business aspect, there's always a consequence.
Always.
For every advance in technology, there's always
There's
a
always a
consequence. There's a consequence for everything.
That's true. That's true. So how did you go from car industry? Now you work right in the hospitals.
Yeah.
How did you make that big? I know you said COVID, right? You stopped
Yeah,
working
definitely.
there, but
Definitely.
it's completely different. It's not like you're going car sales to part sales or like
No,
big
No.
Tire
trucks,
chain,
you know,
yeah,
tires,
yeah.
you know, something like that. It's completely different. So I
you're
want to know
absolutely right.
how did you adapt to? It must have been hard.
I believe during COVID, sales took a big hit.
Mm-hmm.
Not only for the automotive industry, but anything retail. If you look at retail wholesale,
I'd say a lot of automotive industry. 'cause
whether it's
people didn't
food,
go.
whether it's clothing, commodities and stuff. A lot of stuff took a big hit, right, in
Yeah.
terms of sales. What I didn't appreciate was when the pandemic started and all the businesses were closing down, all the businesses were shutting down, all the companies were sending their employees home, okay, work from home and so on and so forth. The dealership decided to stay open. No, let's stay open. No, stay open. No, because you never know. No, you might get And we used to go into work and literally see nobody
Me too.
during
Same
a
thing.
day. How does
The building
that
was closed.
affect the mental health of your salesman when you're going to work,
True.
dressed up to the nines, suit and tie, the whole nine
And you
yards?
see nobody.
And there's
You
no
put
one.
your name badge, you put your name thing on, you have a sense of pride, and what happens? Nobody comes into the
Every like for a
dealership.
week.
And it's like, what? This is what I'm doing? And then what happens? You're obviously trying to push. I social media. I had a business account. I had a personal account, right? Come and check us out. We got the deals and the stuff and the this and the that. And I was trying to entice people to come in and, to check it out. Everyone was scared. No one knew what was
Especially
happening.
at the beginning.
And people were like, you're still working? You're still open? How are you guys still open? What the hell? Go home. What are you guys doing? So they waited until last minute to send everyone home, only after to realize, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm getting laid off here, right?
Yeah.
It's true.
So I stayed home for about, I would say, a good month, which was great.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah,
for you
pretty
Great.
mentally
It
too,
was a
right?
nice
Sure.
reset for me.
Yeah.
Got to spend time with my wife, my kids. Just being at home, relaxing, taking
chilling.
it easy. And I remember I had a friend who reached out to me because I was hospitalized in the hospital. So February 8th, 2018, I was hospitalized for rhabdomyolysis. And if you guys don't know what that is,
I was
it's
just
really-
gonna say,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, you guys
Yeah,
can Google it
explanation.
up. But
Yeah.
long story short, it's basically when your muscle decomposes, the creatine of your muscle decomposes and goes in through your bloodstream and through your kidney. So you have kidney failure. And people that overexert themselves, like athletes and stuff like that,
I've seen it.
they
And
get
you
this.
pee brown.
Exactly.
Joe Rogan.
Like
That's
iced
what
tea.
happens when you listen
Like
to
your
Joe
pee is
Rogan.
literally like iced tea.
Yes, exactly.
And what caused it for me the first time was a bad case of the flu. So the flu was a flu-induced rhabdomyolysis in my case, right? February 8th, 2020, exactly 2 years later to the date, back in the hospital, the
Crazy.
same thing all over
That's
again.
crazy. Same day.
So obviously, I had a bunch of people coming and visit me at the hospital
Yeah.
who happened to be people that follow me on Instagram. One thing led to another, and there was 1 or 2 people that I kept in touch with, right? So after this whole ordeal of being hospitalized, obviously I went back to work and whatever. And then when I got laid off, I reached out to a few, buddies of mine in the hospital, this, that. I say, hey, listen,
Makes sense.
look, I'm looking for a job. I don't know if I want to go back into the cars. A lot of stress. There's a lot of stress behind car sales and so on and so forth. And one thing led to another. And I ended up going in, got an application. I applied. I went in for an interview, and they told me, they said, listen, we're not sure if we can guarantee you a 40-hour a week. And I'm like, wait a minute, because you're on call when you're at the hospital, right?
Okay.
And I was like, kind of worried. I'm like, I'm not sure. What do I do now? Where should I go in or not go, or whatever? But obviously the pandemic hit. The hospitals were jammed.
They needed people like it was
and they
out of
needed
style.
people like it was out of style.
Oh,
and
yeah, for sure.
I got in at the best time,
Yeah.
but also at the worst time,
Yeah.
right?
It's true.
So then people started seeing, I was posting on social media. People are like, hey, are you volunteering there? Are you volunteering? What are you doing? Volunteering? Because I also donate to the Montreal Children's Hospital, with my collaboration with Cafe Chino, my coffee line and the grocery stores and stuff. So people thought I was doing it as a
Part of that.
a volunteer. But no, it was actually a job, And the rest is history. I've been there for a little over a year now, to the point where my boss actually gave me my 1-year certificate.
That's nice.
And he says, Nick, he goes, I've been working at the hospital for like over 12 years. He goes, you're the first guy, you're the first employee that works under me that I have given a 1-year certificate in 1 year. Because...
the amount of...
And
the amount of time you've
I
done.
never, till this day, guys, it's over a year that I work at the hospital. I have never called in sick once.
Okay.
There is something about working at the hospital, and let's face it, I rarely call in sick when I go to work, right? Whether it be Bombardier, whether it be working in the car industry or whatnot, but just in general. And, the hospital is a very, the environment could be very rewarding. Like it could be very stressful. There's ups and downs. You see people at their worst state in the hospital, right? Whether it be adults, children, people of all walks of life and ages, right? But for me, it's a sense of I feel happy when I go there. It's a sense of being accomplishment in terms of
helping.
Today I help someone.
Too. Yeah, exactly.
And in life, I think if you can't help someone, then I don't know. What's the point of
it? Yeah, for sure.
And you can help people in various ways. It doesn't have to be specific.
Helping someone buy their car. It's
exactly.
like helping them, man.
Exactly. Yep. And I've always been one about helping others type of thing. Even though sometimes I don't feel that the help is given back. But hey.
You kind of get the short end of the stick. Yeah.
You kind of get the short end of the stick.
Yeah, but as long as you did what you think is right and what you think is enough, you feel good, and that's all that matters.
Like my grandmother once said, fa male, fa bene, e scordatillo.
That's it.
Which means do good and forget about it. Fa male e pensaci.
Exactly.
Which means do bad and think about it.
And then you're always thinking, it's always in the back of your head.
So at the end of the day, I go about life with those words.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
I agree. Just do good and don't think twice about it.
I'm not going to say that I'm an angel and I'm a number one. No, but I get mad. I get pissed off. I tell people off, right? But it is what it is.
Try to do good as much as you can.
Exactly.
And then you don't have to think about it. Exactly.
It's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new ball game.
That's what I was about to say. How do you feel like now that you went from the cars to that? Do you feel better? Do you feel like you have less stress? You have less...
Okay, so
like your lifestyle is
the money is less. I'll be very honest. The money is less. You're never going to hear someone in the medical field saying, "Oh my God, I love my job. Oh my God, I'm making amazing money. I'm making a killing." The money is less. It's more rewarding on different levels for myself.
Okay.
For my case, and for my particular job, being a transport attendant, right? It's way less stressful, right? So I don't have that stress anymore of thinking, Oh my God, I'm going to go home. Did the customer shop? Is
On
the customer
you,
shopping?
It's
Is
true.
the customer going somewhere else?
Right? Everything's on you, too.
Yeah, come the weekend, it's like, oh my God, it's my weekend off this weekend.
And the guy's calling
is,
me.
Is the guy calling me? Is the guy going to... Like, I've literally had to put my suit and tie on back on a Saturday that I wasn't working to go back to the dealer and sign a deal. But that's what part of the game,
That's
right?
what it is,
You're running a little business now at the end of the day, right?
Exactly.
It's your little clientele that you gotta take care of
Whereas
them.
nowadays, you go in, you do your job, you go home. They call you for overtime,
That's
you're paid for
exactly
it.
that's exactly
They call
why
you in
I
on a
left.
Saturday, you want to go in, you go in.
That's what I
If you don't
did.
want to go in, you don't go in.
It sounds exactly
You
like
know what I
me.
mean?
It was
Even if it's your Saturday
crazy.
on and you're working at the hospital, you go in, you do your time, you're going home. And guess what? You're
over.
working on a Saturday, you're even making more money because
Yeah.
you
Overtime,
get
yeah.
that overtime
Premium,
kind of
yeah.
bonus prime, weekend prime, evening prime. You get it? Stuff you don't get in the car industry.
I feel like you go home, right?
Yeah.
And it's done.
It's done.
You're thinking of the wife, the kids. You
Exactly.
don't think of, shit, did I screw up that sale because I said this
Exactly.
Or
wrong?
did the guy leave me a text? Oh, the guy emailed me. I forgot to email him
That's
back.
it. Shit,
Yeah,
did I email
for
that guy
sure.
back? I feel the same way when I switched into another job. I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, no Saturdays,
Yeah.
no going
Definitely.
crazy, no clients calling
Definitely.
you, no shit. Did I
Definitely.
forget? Did I do this?
And that's
true. I just
is
got it,
worth
okay.
its weight in money. I mean, it's
Millions.
just having that peace of mind. I'm going to pay you a bit less, but you have nothing to worry about. Okay,
No
no problem.
problem.
Amazing. I'm good with that. Driving home from work as a salesman, mad.
You're always
Pissed off.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Like they say, you never bring work home, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but
it
you do
brings
bring
you
the
But you
home.
do
emotions
bring
home.
work
You
home.
bring the emotions
And then
home.
what happens? You get into a fight with your wife. You're
Yeah.
a little bit more mean with the kids. And then you're like,
yeah.
shit, I shouldn't have done that. You get it? Whereas now, oh my God, I took care of a kid who has cancer today. Oh my God, I'm so grateful
Yeah,
my kids
well,
are not sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I just put another body in the fridge today. That could have been someone's brother, someone's uncle, or whatever.
Someone's husband, whatever.
Or someone's husband or sister or wife. And you're like, oh my God, I'm driving home today. There's people in the hospital.
See? It's
Not knowing
little
when they're
things,
going to go
man.
home. Some people never go home.
For sure.
So it's just a sense of like, wow, man. It's like, yeah, like my day is done. Tomorrow's another day. We're going to help other people tomorrow on their journey of their hospitalization and getting better. And unfortunately, some don't.
You have to also, you put on a smile, right?
Yeah,
And you see
yeah,
these people.
definitely.
I feel like people, the guys that work, like what he does, like I find those are people that make you like even forget about, like, let's say what you're going
the
through
problems
or whatever.
you have, or
Hey,
whatever.
what's happening today?
For
You're
sure.
okay.
For sure.
I feel you're a
For
charismatic
sure,
type
crack
of
a
person.
joke. Sometimes you get an Italian patient.
There you go,
Signore,
there
come
you
stai?
go.
They look at you like, no, ma tu parli italiano?
That's it.
You make her feel at home, kind of, you
Oh,
know?
grazie. Oh,
That's it.
And
Then she
it's
tells
just-
her whole family.
And you treat these people the way you would treat your grandparents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
exactly.
Because at the end of the day, they're someone's grandparent,
For
right?
sure.
So,
I agree with you.
like, there's nothing wrong with
Good
it. And
karma,
it's just,
too.
it's rewarding on a different level.
That's
On a
it. It's different.
I feel you. Okay.
So, we're gonna wrap it up. You went from now the cars and everything. You were always doing Instagram while in the car business, while now in the hospital. Well,
Yes.
now obviously you're still
Yes.
doing it. But I'm saying you always continued Instagram. How did you
Yeah.
just decide to do Instagram? Like, where did it just, like it's.
Look, I
You
was
started early. That's why I'm saying
Yeah,
that. Now
I started-
everyone.
It's been a while, eh? No.
It's been a while.
Very long.
I
time.
would say a little over 7 to
Yeah,
8
it's- I was
years.
gonna say
about
it's
to
like
say
10,
10 years,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
It's been around that time frame where I started doing videos on YouTube,
2010.
right?
around
And I'm saying to myself, I grew up in a
So
Sicilian.
you started on YouTube?
Yeah.
Right. It's true. At
Yeah.
the beginning, all
So
your
at the
videos
beginning
on
was
YouTube.
I used to do a
Yes,
video,
yes.
upload it to YouTube,
Yeah.
and then share the video of YouTube on Facebook.
Yes, I remember. Okay,
Right?
that's it.
And I said to myself, you know what? I was raised in a Sicilian family. We have a crazy weird dialect or language, if you want to call it like that, because the language is all
it's a
it's
dialect.
different all on
It's
its own, right?
I mean, it's a language. Yeah.
And I kind of reminisced or like used that stereotype or kind of poking fun at my grandparents.
Yeah.
Their rants, their sayings,
Yeah.
their fights, their bickering,
Yeah.
right? And I kind of use that kind of Italian, Sicilian stereotype air, to kind of
You're in the right
as
place.
as the main ingredients of my videos and the origins of my videos. And then one day, Instagram came around.
That's it.
I installed the app, and I deleted it. And I'm like, what is this Instagram? Liking pictures?
Yeah, the beginning. I remember. Yeah.
Liking pictures. Like, when
Like,
I'm gonna like
why?
it. I'm gonna like a
Just
picture.
like
Yeah.
pictures all
Why
day.
would I like a picture? I'm like, forget it.
Have Facebook for
it's
that,
not it's
right?
not
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I don't what is this? And then obviously I reinstalled it. And then after, I just met a few people in life. There's a guy named Luciano Mashotra from Lucky Graphics.
Okay.
And he's the guy who actually gave me an idea, and he created my logo. So the Sicilianudimontreal logo. And for, a lack of communication, or maybe a lack of, or I would say a lot of, misunderstandings, I don't talk to this guy anymore. We kind of don't speak anymore, but he kind of created the logo, which is what you see today, my logo, right? The Sicilianudimontreal logo. And my first ever video, I said, you know what, let me do this Instagram thing. Like, let me give Instagram a shot.
Try, yeah.
And one of my first ever videos was me in Daytona Beach with my family. And I'd go on the beach. We'd go on the beach in the morning.
This in Florida, right?
In Florida, yeah. Correct. And there's people running on the beach. These athletic people and stuff. They run in the morning. They got to get their jog in.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see them running, and they're kind of like out of breath. And they're doing these faces like... And they're like, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't even know if these people live there or if these people are on vacation. But it's like, you're on vacation. Just relax. A bit. Yeah. Go on the beach, fate na beer, have a beer, smoke a cigar, just chill, right? Yeah. So I said, you know what? I go, let me make fun of, kind of poke fun. So I started running on the beach wearing a polo, believe it or not. I wasn't even like beach. I was wearing a polo. And I'm running on the beach, and I was doing these faces. And then I said, stiamo correndo nga pa spiaggia. Ora vediamo se mi cala sta panza. Right? Ora vediamo. And then I continued running. And that was like my first video. And I was like, huh? And people actually had a reaction to it, right?
Started sharing it and
started like, oh my God, funny. One thing led to another. And then when I really took off on Instagram, was the lawnmower. The lawnmower video. We had snow. We had no snow in December. And then we had snow in April. It was kind of weird. So the whole lawnmower thing. Frank Cavallaro put her on the news, on the weather.
For real?
They put her on TV. They actually aired that video on TV.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Then I remember back in the day, with Freeway and Natasha, they even aired it on the radio.
No way.
So they had the audible on the radio. They were explaining it, And that kind of, picked up, brought it to another level. So, I mean, you meet people. I met people along the way, to kind of, work up my Instagram and stuff. And I've been doing it ever since. Then I got reached out by a guy from Toronto, Giuseppe DMC.
I know.
He actually made me open up my first show. I actually opened up his show here in Montreal.
Open up as in comedy?
Open up a comedy show.
So stand-up?
Yeah, stand-up, exactly. Cool. So, and that obviously was at another level. Then because of him, I even made my own show in November. So back in November, I believe it was... right when the whole
when they locked down everything.
And then Halloween was canceled. Then they wanted to cancel Halloween.
We weren't
and stuff.
able to go to people's
So my
houses.
show was November 1st, actually, believe it or not.
This is show Messing with Messina. If anybody needs to.
No, actually, that was Nick Messina Live, which was my first stand-up show ever.
How was that?
At the LDV Center.
Really?
Yeah. There was about 125 people in the hall, which went surprisingly very well.
That's pretty good.
And there I was with my notes, like my notes. I go, man, better. Right? It's one thing doing a video, and then it's another thing actually talking about it. It's different. You don't know the perception.
Can't edit it.
You don't know if people are going to understand or get it, right?
Yep.
And that's why for me it was important that the predominant origin of the people there were Sicilian, because if not, you won't understand. Yeah, of course. Thank God. And that's it. And then after I started doing, the Instagram thing for me just kept on going, doing my videos and stuff. And then I started doing lives.
Yeah.
It's called Messing with Messina Live.
Which nights is it now?
You're in your garage, right, I think?
In my garage. I used to do them every Friday night, during the lockdown.
Friday.
It was kind of a way of, getting people, to kind of do something entertaining, supporting local businesses. So I'd get local businesses to come on and talk a little bit about their story, And that's it. Now I do it every second week. So every second week, I just did one last Thursday.
Yeah, exactly.
I try to do it either Thursday or Friday. More on Thursday because now Fridays people go out. People
are going out
enjoy a bit the weekend. But I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Messing with Messina.
And Messing with Messina is always on Instagram, right? So if anybody needs to
Instagram Live.
Sometimes
I just do it.
You can rewatch it after, right?
Okay. I do it laid back. Either I have people on or not, or I just do question and Q&A.
Just go as
as
the week
it-
goes by,
as
you
it
just
go-
figure it
how
out.
it goes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, I got you.
And you're enjoying that? It's a different.
I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's a different aspect of Instagram. It's not always about videos and stuff. It's another way of getting people to know who you are.
interacting, even meeting people.
The guy behind the Sicilianudimontreal.
Yeah,
At the
who
end
is
of
this
the
guy?
day,
Yeah.
like I'm just me, right? I'm just a guy living my life and doing my stuff, my daily rants and stuff like that. But it's just another way of reaching out to people and saying like, hey, there's a real person behind the Instagram.
Yeah, it's not an actor.
Nowadays,
or,
you see all this a
Fake.
lot of fake stuff.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
It's kind of sad to say, but whatever. That's what it is. That's what it became.
That's cool.
Interesting.
You
All
see?
right, all
But
right. I like that.
now, how does it feel now that you've been doing it? I had this question from when you first started it.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel now being interviewed? Now that you've been the interviewer.
I actually, you know what? It's very humbling for me. It's a very
Different, right?
it's a very humbling experience. Being so many people reach out, whether it be people that want to advertise their business, or people that want to advertise their brand. People that have businesses. Like for example, Steak Bleu.
Yeah.
They do meat delivery.
Yes, sir.
Panier du Fermier, they do vegetable delivery. They reach out, hey, can we promo this, that? So it's kind of cool. It's humbling, very humbling.
You
That's
saw
what
they
I-
gave Carrie Price one of those boxes.
Yeah, you see, there you go. It's very humbling. And what is it? What is it being interviewed? It feels good actually
It's
because
different, no?
It's
'Cause I find when
different.
we did it,
You feel good right now?
yeah, amazing. No, because you know why? It's because
busting.
it gives you a chance to explain yourself and to express yourself and to tell the people who you are.
Yeah,
and
backstory and all.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because some people, let's face it, guys, there's people that are gonna like you.
And people are gonna hate
There's
you.
people that are
for
gonna
sure.
love you. There's people that are gonna hate you. And there's people that are gonna despise you,
Yeah.
right? So I think sometimes, if they follow me, if they don't follow me, but they follow you, or they don't follow me, but they see what I do and they don't like me, and then they see you guys and they follow you guys, or they follow anyone else of who I'm being interviewed, because I've done podcasts and interviews before. It kind of changes the name of the game and the mindset, because to say, hey, the guy is actually not all of a bad guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't like what he does on Instagram, which is fine.
Yeah.
Nobody has to.
No, you don't have to like
not everyone
everything.
has to like or
Your stuff, for
dislike
sure.
your stuff.
But they might like you talking now for the past hour
exactly.
and a half. It's like, yo,
and
you did
sometimes
this, you got that, or
it's
whatever.
just a way to reach out to these people that maybe don't like you, or even the people that do like you.
yeah, it's a
just,
different.
Yeah, for sure.
just for them to get to know a little bit more about you and who you
You
are.
see a
Yeah.
different side of you too,
Exactly.
right? It's
And
not
that's what
always
and that's what I appreciate about these interviews like this. Yeah.
And also, I wanted to say, your first time hosting, right? Your own shows. You never hosted anything like that.
I don't really see it as a show. Really, I just
Okay.
see it more of a live,
Okay.
just
Thing to
me
do.
talking
Because
and
my point is that you're a very good host. Very good. And
look.
it's
I
not
enjoy
easy.
I enjoy what I do. I think anything you do,
Yeah,
if
you
you
have
don't
to
enjoy
enjoy
it, people will kind of
See
realize
the-
it. Yeah,
see through
but I
it.
enjoy what I do, and I wouldn't turn around and call it a show,
Okay.
right? Because there's people that
It's more of a live.
there's other people that do shows and they say, "Well, this guy thinks he's
A
doing
show
a
is more scripted. kind
Exactly.
Of,
Yeah,
this is
you're
more
right. Yeah.
So
type
you kind of
just-
don't want to step on those boundaries as
Yeah.
well. But in general, I don't feel like I'm stepping on anyone's boundaries, because I'm just me
You're just doing
talking
yourself.
and doing my
Mm.
stuff and expressing myself. So I wouldn't say a show. It's just more of a live,
Okay.
just
Okay.
chill, laid back live that I don't even know myself what the future holds. So
Okay.
we're just having fun with it for now.
And you spoke about it before. I wanted to mention it just before we wrap up. You have your own coffee, right?
Yeah. So
What's behind it?
behind the coffee is that a while.
And why coffee?
Coffee is what reunites people.
agree.
Coffee is the universal drink that no matter what background, ethnicity, religion,
There's
or
a good chance you drink coffee.
yeah, there's a good
That's
chance you drink coffee. And like I said, coffee is something that is a comforting kind of drink. It is a drink of respect, because if you don't offer someone a coffee at the end of the meal, it's like as if. For
You
me,
don't
yeah,
do
but
it
there's
there.
a whole
Respect,
thing behind
yeah.
coffee. You know what I mean? Like the etiquette, if you want
Yeah.
to call it that.
Yeah.
And obviously, me being Italian, I love espresso. That's just me. I love coffee. Some people don't even like coffee, which is fine. But a while back, I was approached by Cafe Cimo.
Yeah.
And basically what happened is that They said, hey, we're thinking of maybe doing a brand, having your own line of coffee, something that we can do, try and figure out a way where we can give back to the community and so on and so forth. I was like, wow, great. I was all for it. So I went in, tried a few coffees, the cupping thing of the coffee, whatever you want to call it.
There. I work right beside the building, so every day I smell him burning his coffee when I used to work at the office.
The roasting of the coffee. Yeah. So we tried a few blends. I said, I like this, but I like this, and so on and so forth. So we made my own blend of coffee. We branded it, we labeled it, which is now being sold in various stores in the East End. We have Fruiteria Milano, I think, that was selling it. Group Lagoria Group, Patisserie Vimon Laval, the Delice La Frenay. I even have people in the West Island, Cavallaro Fine Foods, that sells it as well. So it's kind of cool to see how the community kind of embraced it.
Took it in and put on the shelves.
And yeah, exactly. And the coffee, how it works is that $2 for every sale of the bag of coffee that we sell goes to the Montreal Children's Hospital Foundation. So at the end of the day,
I feel like I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I wanted the backstory of it. Yeah.
It's stuff that I like. Let's say they give me my check and I kind of put everything aside and I tabulate, and at the end of the year I say, well, this is the money, and whatever money we got from the coffee I donate, and then I even started a little GoFundMe thing that I do as well, and I think I raised a little over almost $2,000. I don't remember. I donated a check a while back. Amazing. And hopefully I can do it again this year. But like I said, I will do it again this year. Obviously, the coffee is selling in stores. The GoFundMe page, just to see how that would work out. But I kind of brought them two together. And it's kind of cool to see, to have your own...
especially in your own city and everything.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see your logo on the coffee coffee label. It's
not
fun.
like it's a random coffee brand either.
No, it's Chimo. Chimo has been known, has been in Montreal families for the longest
big coffee
time.
Company here,
yeah. Correct. So for me, it's
a perfect match, I feel.
It's cool, yeah.
It's a nice match.
And the owners were originally Sicilian from another town.
Yeah.
And the owners today that took it over are Sicilian as well. So it's kind of cool.
That's it's Johnny's uncle.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Jerry and
very, very nice guy. Very, very nice family. Very humble family.
He lives around here, actually, Jerry.
Very nice people.
Yeah, I see him all the time at the Adonis.
I gotta say, they're very, very nice people.
Yeah, they are.
It's an amazing, very nice family.
They are. So
that's amazing.
To wrap this up, I asked you a question. I said, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I go, you know what? It's our first.
Let's give him a day.
It's our first guest back. I go, let's be nice, because we put people on the spot and some people do not know their cars. So I was like, I know he knows his cars. I go, but I'm just going to give him so he could really,
little 24 hours.
think. So we're back at the top 5 car garage, right? So what do we ask, Joe? How does that work? How does the...
So basically we ask either on the spot or, in your case, day before, your top 5 car garage. It could kind of be anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, people could just say, 4 Bugattis and a Koenigsegg, right? Which I have no problem. If that's what you want to put,
Definitely.
But I'm saying something like...
You know what? For me, it's all about old school.
Yeah.
For me, it was all about from back in the day. I mean, just thinking of the cars, I get the goosebumps. It's weird. But I would say if I would ever reach to a part of my life or a point in my life where I would have a space for a 5-car
garage,
I definitely probably wouldn't be living in RDP, right? Because everybody parks their car in the street, even though they have a garage, right? But I think the first car in that garage would be a 92 Cadillac Fleetwood Brutus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That for me was an iconic car from back in the day. One of my uncles had one.
Okay.
It was shit brown, believe it or not.
Those brown.
Yeah.
Was the interior velour?
The velour, velour with the buttons on the seat, like a sofa, right? That would be, I don't know why, I just love the Cadillac Fleetwood. I love the car, like La Barque, that big car. That would definitely be probably one of the first cars that I would have. A nice one, they rounded it off a little bit towards the end of its era. So that model there that I would probably have.
Okay.
Then the other car, obviously for me, would be a Dodge Charger.
Okay.
But more specifically, General Lee.
Okay.
So
the way it is,
69.
Orange. The orange color
the Confederate flag on top?
with the flag on top, just the way it was in the movie.
Okay,
we should have got in contact a couple years ago. Where I used to work, we used to have.
See, that would be another iconic car that would be in my garage. because it takes
Fun
me
car.
back to my youth. It takes me back to when I was a kid. So definitely that would be
Nice looking cars too.
Yeah,
though, man.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
man.
for sure.
Nice looking
Just the way
car.
it was, you know, it was like
The front end of
The
that
car
car.
was perfect.
yeah,
I
the
love
car
that
was
car.
like just the design is like what the
Guys,
hell? It was
driving
a
those
mean
cars.
car.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah.
The other car would be a late '80s Firebird,
Okay.
more specifically, exactly the way
Rocky.
Knight Rider.
Oh, Knight Rider. Okay, so
David
that
Hasselhoff,
year.
that year there.
And that's a rare year, you know that?
The Knight
Yeah.
Rider car,
Yeah.
I would love
Really?
to have.
There's a lot of them.
a
People make
There's
them.
so many replicas.
Yeah.
I Google them sometimes. I just look at the car. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the show.
Do you want that steering wheel too? Doesn't it have like a
You know what?
Tesla, new
Yeah,
Tesla
the
steering
steering
wheel.
wheel, the interior is a bit too much nowadays. But even
Yeah.
even just to have that model, even from the outside, even if the
Yeah.
inside is not.
The basic standard
Yeah,
one,
like the basic beige interior that they had back in the day, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be definitely in my list
Okay.
of cars. Of course, Ferrari. I would definitely want a 458 Italia.
Okay.
458?
Yeah, 458 Italia.
Okay.
It's just it's a car that reminds me a lot of the GT. I think it's the GTS, the old one with the round lights.
348.
348, something
Probably.
like
Yes,
that.
it is a
Exactly.
348,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like with Magnum PI. Remember Magnum
yeah,
PI?
yeah,
Yes,
it's
exactly.
348,
Yeah, so the
pretty sure,
458
yeah.
Italia kind of reminds me of that car with
Okay.
the round light in the back
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So definitely a Ferrari would be definitely in
That one?
yeah.
You ever
yeah.
driven one?
I've never driven a Ferrari.
You've driven that? I've driven this one too.
Recently, like 2 weeks ago, I drove a 458 Spider.
I've driven not much,
Yeah,
but they're
convertible.
nice,
wow.
man.
Yeah.
First time I drove a Ferrari in my life.
Crazy.
First time.
And crazy, eh?
It's a nice car, eh?
I could just imagine. I could just imagine.
Auxiliary. I've been in
The-
passenger in the 488, which is the model after the 458,
yeah.
where they put turbos on
Yes,
the car.
yes.
Not the same.
Not the same.
No.
The power is for sure stronger.
Yeah,
on
definitely.
More,
No,
it's
for me
faster,
it's the 458.
but the
I don't know.
sound
Yeah,
of
yeah,
458
yeah, the
creates,
458's
man.
nice.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's something.
Believe
Like,
it or not, my favorite Ferrari that I've driven, and I didn't drive many, I drove like 3, is the Lusso. I don't know if you know what the Lusso is, the hatchback. It's like a station wagon, but has a V12 inside.
Super
The
long
Lusso.
hood. It has
Super
like
long,
a hatchback
yeah.
in the back.
It's around the same era as
yes,
the 458.
yes.
Not many people bought
I
that.
think that car was even done in blue or
Yes,
something
yes,
like
yes.
that.
It was
Weird
called
colors.
FF before.
Yes,
FF,
yes,
and then
yes,
the
yes,
Lusso.
exactly.
Now it's called GT4 Lusso.
Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful car as well.
V12.
But it's
when
also
you
a family car, I think.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're
there you
speaking
go.
about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But when you started, man, it reminds you of the old F1 cars. And the
V12s,
revs too,
man.
and just comes back.
But you see, that's what I was saying.
Back to that. Yeah,
That's what it is.
Exactly.
It's all about that, man. Now,
Exactly.
the electric cars, like, what the hell, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think we mentioned what, 4
4.
cars.
Yeah.
So now's your last one.
And my last car would be my daily driver.
Which
You
would
know,
be?
like right now I'm driving an Audi A4,
Yeah.
obviously, and there's something about, you know, like I mentioned to
making
you
me
guys,
smile just 'cause
there's
it's Audi.
something about the Cadillac, you know. there's- I don't know. I'm looking at I'm looking at Cadillac. I don't know what it is.
They're nice,
They
man.
revamped their car lineup. It's really nice.
did a fantastic
the
job.
CT4, the CT5.
Yeah.
Guys, we talk about this
CT6.
often on the podcast. We love
Yeah,
the
the
new
CT6,
Cadillac.
beautiful
What a
car.
boat,
I don't know.
man.
It
What's
just
the
it is
big,
what
big
it is.
one? It's
CT6
CT6 that
The
we saw when it
CT6.
first came out. in
With the
Florida.
Which I
Yeah,
believe
it was
is
white.
also discontinued.
Is it?
Yeah, I think they're ceasing
What?
production of the CT6.
That's the long.
That was the long
the competitor
one.
to the
Love
A8.
Yeah,
that
which
one.
is like the modern day
CT6.
Fleetwood
Yeah,
type of
exactly.
thing. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. It would
Yeah,
be,
yeah. Now they have the
Oh,
V
it's
series,
nice,
which
man.
isn't really a real V. You know,
Is it still the V8 inside?
It's toned down. No, the V series now don't have V8s.
Okay, so is
it's
it like
a
an
V6.
S? Is it like an S? Like
Exactly.
S3?
So the
Okay.
equivalent of like I have an S4 and
Yeah.
S5.
Yeah.
That's good though.
Yeah, they're actually trying to get more
smart.
the younger clientele.
Get it,
I
yeah.
was just gonna say, I always liked the CTSV. Remember the first
Yeah,
first
for
one?
sure.
But they were like 100 something,
Yeah,
right?
Very, very.
But
nice.
there's
And-
V8 inside though.
Yeah, V8
Yes.
supercharged.
Yeah,
I
Back
know.
in the
Better
day, the
engines.
V was with
Insane.
was with an 8.
But what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say, you make that model just a bit less, like he's saying, amazing. And so many more Cadillacs would be sold 100%
Yeah,
because
for
he's
sure.
saying like people like our age will go for it 100%.
CT, like when
I
you're looking
love
at CT5, V.
Now this the Blackwing. So the CT5V Blackwing would be like the real
Is
V
that the
type
real-
of thing.
That's the V8 inside.
or would be like an RS series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The top of the line
Manual.
of that body.
And it's manual. Yeah, manual.
That's nice. You know what? Man, I don't know. Cadillacs lately.
They killed it.
We had one in
I saw
Florida.
one actually the other day. A CT5V, all black, murdered out, black wheels,
I
red
haven't seen it,
brakes,
a V.
black grill with the Cadillac logo with the 4 black
Yeah,
pipes.
I
I was
Does it
like,
have the big V in the back? Like, does it
Yeah.
still have
Just
the
a
big
little
logo?
V on the
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
I haven't seen
But it
one.
has like 4 rectangle exhaust pipes in
Exactly.
the back. They're
Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
with
Like
the
the old
spoiler that goes
Mercedes,
up like this.
like the old AMG.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
The
I
old
haven't
AMG,
seen it.
exactly.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, very nice. There's
Sexy
a
car,
lot
man.
of German influence in
In it, yeah.
in the Cadillac models recently.
But those have V6s inside now.
V6, yeah, it's a V6, 360
looking at it right now.
horsepower. It's I believe, it's a 380 torque or 390 torque, something like
still
that.
fast.
The big
But,
one, the big one, 660.
Yes, exactly. But now you're looking at a V8. You're looking at a
Wow.
$80,000 car.
So the one you're looking at is a 3-liter V6. Perfect.
3
Same
liter
engine you find in a
V6.
C43.
Correct.
Or,
And an
correct.
S4 and a perfect
Yeah.
engine. Perfect.
Yeah.
335, best engine.
Very, very
Best.
nice. And the V6, like I said, 360,
perfect.
just the right amount of
Power.
sound. You know,
It's
the
good. You
growl,
don't need
the
more than that,
rumble,
though.
the little bit of that pop. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
turbo
now,
flutter as
yeah.
well.
And the paddles
Very,
and
very
everything.
nice. Yeah, I obviously Googled videos and all
Yeah,
that
for
stuff.
sure.
For sure. Honestly,
okay.
nice. See, that's a different top 5 garage. See, most people go like you said, those crazy
yeah.
ends, or some people go like
Yeah,
say,
you
one
know what?
Jeep, one. This,
I'm
one-
more of a laid back kind of guy. Like,
see you in a
man,
Fleetwood.
Like, you know what? It's nice to dream. It's nice to
Yeah,
dream build and
I'll-
stuff. But I gotta be. I'm more realistic kind of
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see you in a
got you.
Fleetwood though. Like, I see
Yeah,
you in
eh?
a nice one.
Pulling up in a Fleetwood. Hey, buongiorno, you know,
But
like
the
that.
espresso.
With the espresso on the car, yeah, I know. It's stuff that takes me back to my when I was a
Youth,
kid. You
when
know,
you
it's
were
kind
young,
of
yeah.
cool.
Well, that's it. That's
Shit,
honestly
okay,
a
cool,
lot of
man.
people. A lot of people go with that. Like people, real car people. It's like what
Yeah.
they had back in the day. Were like
Yeah,
what
stuff
they
that
saw.
I can be realistic, like, that I could realistically say that maybe one day I could own. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, me like.
I mean, maybe one day you will buy a
Maybe,
Bugatti.
who
Who
knows?
knows?
I don't even know.
I hope so. Like,
And let's
you know?
hope that these classic cars stick around a
I
bit
know.
because with the way things are going, man.
I know.
You gotta
I
buy
know.
them now.
So before we wrap it up, we have to do our weekly shout out. I just wanted to shout out.
Go.
It's because of you I'm shouting them out and thought of them this week. I know them personally, but Man-Made.
Yes.
You know, you went to see them this week,
Yes,
right?
yes,
How was it
yes.
there? Nice little.
4
I know
guys.
one of them. I know one of them. Rob. You know Rob?
Yeah, there's
I've known him
there's
since a little kid.
Anthony, Berto,
Exactly.
Robert, and Phil.
Phil. Yes, Phil's the
Yes,
tall.
exactly.
guy. Yeah.
Great guys,
Super nice
down
guys,
to
eh?
earth,
Super nice guys. Work hard,
Montrealers,
man.
like well-raised individuals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot by when you see a person and the way they act and the way
They present themselves.
They present themselves.
100%.
Very eloquent, very laid back, very like eloquent but laid back at the same time. And you can tell, like, the families behind these gentlemen are like they're a reflection of their family, right?
Yeah.
And they came up with an idea. Obviously, they're into men's
undergarments.
undergarments,
That's it,
right?
yeah.
And it's all this whole thing about keeping your balls cool.
Yeah.
and, you support your balls
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
let's face it, guys.
100%.
It is what it is,
You
right?
want underwear that
For
are
a lack
comfortable.
of better terms,
Yeah,
not
for
to
sure.
offend anyone. But yeah, I visited them this week. They're in the Chabanel district, which
Yeah,
is
it's
for me a
classic.
district that was, booming.
Oh, yeah.
Like the
90s,
fashion industry in Montreal was crazy, and the fact that they even considered to, do their business back in the, fashion district, the
Yeah.
Chabanel,
Even
is
doing it
actually,
just in Montreal.
My dad,
And it's
555
cool.
Chabanel.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's the building is called One Chabanel or something.
I think there's 2 of them now. if
I
I'm
have no
mistaken,
idea,
yeah.
but it's this old school building that was kind of revamped.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, very like modern feel, fresh, straight line. Kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Really cool concept.
I love their the way they market their stuff.
Yes,
I find it's
exactly,
very well done.
exactly.
Very
And they're
well
actually going to be launching their product
Monday, I think, eh?
Monday, yeah, I know.
done. Monday, yeah.
Monday, August 30th.
There you go.
Yeah, August 30th.
That's Monday, yeah. That's Monday.
So that's it. So that's
There you go.
tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow.
February 29th.
So
yeah.
guys,
So, yeah.
check them out. Man-Made.
Yeah.
I think it's Man-Made Official. That's
Man-made
their,
official
yeah.
on Instagram. Yeah, check them
all out,
For
guys.
all
If
the
they're
boys out
launching,
there,
if they're launching, guys, go crazy. Shut down their site.
If you want
I'll
your
be super
sack to
happy for
be
that.
not moist.
yeah, but then they have a lot of their little model brands on
that's
that.
it. I should have wrote one down.
You have some
honestly.
good air circulation. in
Yeah,
there,
all about the balls. Yeah.
Let's see if I have
all about
one.
the
Let me-
sack.
let me
Yeah,
just-
exactly.
well, I think Save Your Balls or something like that. Something with the dry run. They have so many funny things. Anyway,
Yeah.
check them out, guys. I just wanted to give them a shout out just because they've been working freaking hard. I know, like I said, I know one of them personally. They work so hard, and it's a good product, honestly.
Yeah.
And we're having them on the podcast.
We're going to
We
grab a
spoke to
pair
them.
of man
One of them.
Yeah, you should get them. I actually had I got to touch the material.
That's
And-
nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Okay, good.
Makes no sense.
I'm going to try.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Good.
try.
So that's it. This was this week's our first guest back, guys. Nick. And
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
if you want to
Thank
shout
you.
anything out, this is your time, and this is your,
not really a shout out. Just want to say thank you to everyone. I mean, thank you to you guys for having me on.
No problem,
I really,
man.
really
Anytime.
appreciate it.
Anytime.
Happy to be one of the first guys.
yeah.
To kind of relaunch your podcast show. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to all my followers, my family, my friends. People that reach out, people that support me and make me continue doing what I do. There's days where you kind of get a brain fart and you don't know what to think of next, but it's thanks to them.
Well, especially you, that you have a lot of content all the time.
Yeah, I try my best. Like, you try to do as much as possible. I know that my story game has been like really crazy this past, I would say, close to 2 years. Eventually, maybe I'll tone it down a bit, but we're having fun with it. So
there you go. That's all that matters.
Just a big thank you to everyone, basically.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Thanks
guys.
for coming on, and hopefully we'll do another one.
Of course. Guys,
All right.
check us out, the Fuel Podcast on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. No Twitter.
We don't want that Twitter
we
beef.
don't want that Twitter beef, no. Episode 52. I'm Gio.
I'm Mass.
I'm Nick.
And on to the next one.
On to the next one, guys.
Thank you.
you.
Guys. Take
Thanks.
care, guys. Ciao.